another episode of DAIScover, Alumni Secrets to Success, a place where we explore the extraordinary stories of our very own Dhirubhai Ambani International School alumni who are leaving their mark all across the world. I'm your host, Vansh Aggarwal, the current head boy at our school, and I'm joined by today's guest who's been smashing expectations both literally and figuratively. From the classrooms of DAIS to the global stage representing India, Mudit Dani's journey is as inspirational as it is unique. An international table tennis player and scholar, Mudit Dani's inspirational journey exemplifies grit, discipline, and ambition. From the class of 2017, Mudit embodies the spirit of balance, balancing sport, study, and self-belief. Mudit has competed at the highest levels, truly showing how passion and perseverance can go hand in hand. Let's start this conversation. Hi Mudit, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey Vansh, thank you so much for having me on this alumni podcast.
Let's start by talking about our school. Can you first tell me what kind of student were you at DAIS?
So I actually joined school all the way in the beginning, and I was part of the class of 17 batch. It was the first batch that I actually passed all the way through, so it was quite special for us. Mr. Basu was there back then. He's still there, and I think he will be there for a very long time. And talking about myself as a student, obviously, as you can imagine, I loved sports. I used to be part of every sporting event that was going on in school, whether it was sports day, whether it was volleyball events, swimming gala, of course, table tennis, and everything else. I mean, other than that, obviously, I think I was a fairly good student. But luckily, school supported me, and I got a lot of leeways in terms of missing classes for events, training, things like that. And they also gave me extra support in terms of extra hours with teachers, or covering up during co-curriculars or PC or any of those classes. So I think overall, I mean, I was just a student who wanted to pursue his dream, and at the same time, I was able to get the support from school, without which I wouldn't have been able to be where I am today. And yeah, I just focused on time management and doing my thing, and obviously having the best years of my life in DAIS.
Yeah, that's amazing. You mentioned like school events and basically having a really good time. Do you have any memorable experiences that you can share, maybe from like a school trip or annual day or something specific?
So school trips were one of the few things that unfortunately I didn't get to participate in too much. It was actually always during peak season for me, so I was competing a lot and usually had events at the same time. But with regards to other school events, I think annual day was one of the best times, as it might still be for all of you. Night school is obviously the best week of the whole year. But if I had to pick out one standout event, I would probably think it was my last annual day in December of 2016, when we had that whole walk, and the class of 17 got a special sort of farewell. And it was just that whole moment of everyone being together on stage, all the parents, teachers, everyone watching you, looking at us with our flags and sort of walking down the aisle. I think that's just a special moment that sort of culminates everything in school for me, which sort of embodies how together we are, irrespective of our love for our houses. We come together for the whole class, for the whole idea of the graduating class. And I think just the whole fun element also of school, because as you all can imagine, with the pressures and the graphs and the emails coming in from Mr. Vasu about the predictions, it might seem like it's not about fun and games, but it is all about it's all only about education. But there we sort of show everyone that we can sing, we can dance, we can act. And obviously sports performers and other achievers are also felicitated on the stage, which I think just embodies how well-rounded we are as a community.
Yeah, coming to your table tennis journey now, you've been a trailblazer at the Indian global table tennis stage. When do you think you first realized that table tennis for you was more than just a hobby?
So I think it was very gradual. It would be a total lie to say that this is what I thought it was from day one. I started playing around the age of 7 with friends, cousins. Just one summer, I mean, casually, as anyone would pick up any other sport. At that point, I also used to really like to swim. And I think one of the biggest decisions, it might sound a little bit crazy now, but one of the biggest decisions of my life was at the age of 10 when I decided to pursue table tennis and not go down the swimming route. Because at that point, my swimming instructor, who was also an ex-India swimmer, had mentioned that he would be very surprised if I didn't go to the Olympics. But at that point, it wasn't about achieving anything. It was just about having fun, as a young kid. I think from the age of about 10 to 13, 14 for that 4-year period, I ended up training about 2-3 hours a day, maybe a little bit more sometimes, and sort of wanting to just get better every day. Yeah. But there wasn't any thought at that point about going professional, about any of that. I had represented India in the age group category by then in the under 13s, under 15s, but it was still just fun and games for me. I didn't understand that this could be a full-time career. I didn't understand that. I would actually be supported, whether it was by my parents, family, school, coaches, anybody else, to take up a massive sort of leap like this. Okay. It was choosing subjects in school or choosing what universities I wanted to apply to, and then I realized, okay, now I need to decide based on where I go, how much table tennis I can play, what type of table tennis it is, whether it's semi-professional, professional. But at the same time, I think I realized that I do want to study. At the same time, I wasn't sure enough I would take that full leap. In hindsight, I think not getting into Stanford was probably the best thing that happened to me, because I went to NYU instead, got to play for the NYU team where we won the NCAA 3 years out of 4. And after the first year, thank you, after the first year that we won, I actually got a lot of professional offers. Nice. And at the age of 18 is when I decided to go professional. And I also got an opportunity to play for the Indian team for the first time. Yeah.
And you mentioned that you were not sure, so you applied to university. So how did your time at DAIS influence and how did it shape and support your pursuit of both academics and table tennis? What was your main support maybe in terms of social setting, or what were inspirations for you at DAIS?
It might sound a little bit cliche, but very honestly, as you all know, dare to dream, learn to excel. I think that was something that stuck with me. I think everyone in DAIS is dreaming, is excelling at the highest level, and that's the sort of atmosphere or environment that I think propelled me to take that jump in life from the age of about 15 to 20 when I had to get serious, you can say, about certain things and excel, whether it's in the arts, whether it's in sports, whether it's in theater, whether it's in, obviously academics is a big part of it, but I mean, whether it's any other field as well, I think a lot of people have shown that the atmosphere we were in, the grind that we were in, the pressure of, let's say, people saying that DAIS IB is probably the hardest thing ever, and that sort of period from 11th grade January to 12th grade December being not hell week, but hell year. So I think that's something that's shaped us into better leaders, into better people, and being able to sort of take that hit. So yeah, I mean, obviously kudos to school for doing that unknowingly. At that point, maybe we didn't realize what it was, but I think 5, 7, 10 years down the line, even you'll realize how much it'll help you.
Yeah, that's great. You mentioned that obviously your routine must have been very different. So can you give us a small, quick excerpt of a day in your life at your peak training phase, let's say?
Yeah, so I would say peak training was during school, probably a day where it started around 5:45, 6 a.m. I had, depending on the day, either physical fitness training or table tennis training in the morning for 1.5 hours. Be done by 7:30, eat a quick breakfast and get into school. And then obviously go through the school day as normal until 3 p.m. From there I'd head to Gymkhana to train with my coach again. And again, that would be another 2.5 hours about of training. And get home by dinner time probably. eat, and try and stay awake and do some homework. Otherwise, I'd probably just pass out.
Yeah, this routine is obviously not normal compared to other students. So how did you find yourself, how did you maintain your discipline, basically, when you know that maybe your friends are enjoying or they're not doing as much as you are? How did you find yourself to stay disciplined throughout?
I mean, luckily, I think it was quite easy for me because in my head, I knew what I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve. And behind that, I knew sort of the hours and the work it would require. This wasn't every single day. I think at least 1 or 2 days in the week. One day was totally off from table tennis. Another day, I would obviously spend some time with my family, spend some time with my friends, do something else, play football, play some other sport, do something sort of to keep the mind and body both fresh. Because otherwise you're going to, fatigue, burnout, things like that. So I think it was just about knowing what I wanted and sort of sticking to it. Yeah, that's about.
Yeah, that's great. Based on that, I want to ask you, is there a time where you maybe felt burnt out or you felt like giving up or felt a lot of self-doubt? And how do you overcome that?
So I think the thing with sports or high performance is that you have to push yourself beyond your limit, not even to your limit, but way beyond it. And it would be very naive to think that you're not going to get burnt out. The important part at that point is actually figuring out when it's happening, why it's happening, and how long does it take for that sort of phase to occur. So let's say I'm training for a big event. If I know my burnout phase is 3 months, then I cannot start preparing for that event 4 months or 6 months in advance at full intensity. So it sort of comes with experience. When I was younger, I did feel a lot of burnout points during school, during university, even after that. And I think the most important is just sort of gaining that experience to understand how it happens and when it happens, as I mentioned, and then how to deal with it, whether it's taking the whole week off from table tennis. You still keep yourself busy. Maybe you're in the gym, maybe you're still analyzing table tennis, maybe you're still learning another skill. You still have to keep your mind and body active, but maybe not just playing table tennis for what it is, So yeah, I would say that's something that helped me to get through the burnout.
So we know a big part of sport is obviously pressure, and considering you've represented India at multiple tournaments, can you tell us how do you deal with pressure?
I think very honestly, I was told as a young player that, don't feel pressure today. You've already made it to the final. There's no need to feel pressure and things like that. I think that's some very wrong advice. I think pressure is necessary to perform. You need some sort of push, sometimes to go beyond your limits. And as cliche as it sounds, pressure is what creates, carbon into diamonds. And I think, especially at the high performance level, it's very easy to say don't feel any pressure, but that pressure is going to exist, whether it's from yourself, whether it's from the coach, whether it's from the thousands of spectators watching, whether it's from the media, whoever it is. And I think the important part over there is to actually accept the pressure, realize that, okay, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling the nerves, that means it's actually something worth fighting for, otherwise maybe it's not. And then learning how to deal with it, and it's something that you sort of learn over the years, how to stay in the moment, how to sort of just accept that while you might be feeling the pressure, even your opponent is, and it's actually going to help you to do better. We just spoke about pressure, so can you tell us to deal with pressure? Do you have any pre-match rituals or mental routines that you do to get yourself in the mindset for the game? As contrary to one might think, and as I used to think when I was younger, it was honestly the match time where you had to push yourself and things like that. But something that really helps relieve all the pressure and actually perform a lot better is actually making your training like a match-like situation. You need to feel that intensity, you need to feel that pressure in training every day, so that when you feel it in the match, it's honestly just the same. It's something that you've felt thousands and thousands of hours before, and then you just perform as your body is meant to, rather than reacting or treating a match differently. So whether it's the warm-up routine, whether it's the meditation, whether it's focusing on your food, sleep, anything else, if you do that 6, 7, days a week, couple of months in a row leading up to an event, then on the day of the event, your muscle memory is going to do the same. So I think it's a lot about routine, it's a lot about focus and discipline in training rather than reacting to it in the match. Because at that point, it's full chaos. You often don't know what's happening. There's thousands of spectators screaming, there's chaos of being in a new country, jet lag, etc., etc. And at that point, muscle memory is the only thing that's going to solve it. So it's about actually doing it in training that's going to help you in the match.
Obviously, now you're very experienced and have learned many, many lessons in your table tennis journey. But can you tell us about when you were starting out, maybe like your first few professional matches in school or in university, and any common challenge that one may face when they just start?
I think both are very different aspects of my life, that is school table tennis and university table tennis. I thought they would be similar until I went to the US, and I'll just get to that. But I think school table tennis was the foundation for me. Playing inter-school, MSSA, All India, school events. I think I learned a lot about myself during that time, and that's what helped me to perform better, whether it is learning about whether I should, let's say, go into an event feeling more pressure, less pressure, whether I should have more expectations, less expectations, and things like this change between who you're playing. Sometimes when you're playing a higher ranked player, you obviously feel less expectations. A lower ranked player, you feel more expectations because, internally you think you're going to win or you should win. And I think balancing that out is something that I learned in my early years from, let's say, 12 to 18 in school years. And that's what helped me then in university table tennis, which I thought would be very similar. But I think the emphasis that the US puts onto university sport as a whole, as a leap board, as a springboard into professional sport is unbelievable. And I'm very glad that the Indian government is also doing that now to help Indian sport. Whether it's through Khelo India or any of the other initiatives that they're doing. But I think university sport is that moment where, and that age where athletes are mature enough to start performing at the highest levels, but they don't yet have all the experience, all the skills, and putting them in pressure situations, whether it's live TV matches, whether it's thousands of spectators, whether it's honestly even dissing and booing of away fans. Right? You go to another college, you play, you're going to be booed. You have to get used to it. It's going to happen in the future. And that's what sort of makes you stronger and makes you realize that this is how I stay in the moment. This is how I perform under certain pressure situations. So I think college table tennis was that springboard for me where I really got to the next level, got ready to play for India and at the biggest stage against the best players in the world, as we spoke offline, some of the players that you know. I mean, get ready to even face them. Walking into a training hall with them is not the easiest thing in the world. So yeah, both of them are equally important. The foundation was set during my school table tennis and then taken forward by university.
Yeah, and you mentioned Federer. So can I ask, who are your maybe sports inspiration idols, maybe one on the court and off the court?
I would say Michael Phelps is probably my biggest. I think his work ethic, dedication, perseverance, just the ability to keep at it through anything and everything is something that I really look up to, especially in a highly, highly demanding physical sport where in many ways there's not clear domination by a certain country or a certain athlete, right? I think that's just phenomenal. So I would say definitely in terms of sports, it would be Michael Phelps. Off the table, very luckily, I think I've had two very, very big inspirations of mine at home. Whether it's my dad's ability to, again, be able to just work tirelessly and pursue his dreams and his goals through anything that might come in his way. I think that's something that I've really, really learned from him. And my mom's ability to honestly just make people feel extremely, extremely together. Whether it's in work, whether it's at home, whether it's socially, things like that. But I think her ability, and I didn't acknowledge it I think, earlier in life. But the way she juggled working, and sort of leading sports and education initiatives with obviously being with the family and doing other things that she was interested and passionate about is something that I wouldn't want to look away from my home. So just the two of them and Phelps.
Can you tell us about a specific university game that was like the most memorable for you? Paint us a picture of it.
So this was in my first year when I was a freshman at NYU. It was in April of 2018 in Texas. It was the NCAA finals. The reason it was so special was we were playing against Texas Wesleyan for the title. And just to give you some background, Texas Wesleyan had dominated college table tennis before that heavily. Okay. In the men's side, they had won 14 out of the last 16 titles. Wow. And that's just due to extremely strong recruiting that they had. They had contacts into China and, which is the best table tennis nation. So they always got the best Chinese players to come in and play for them. So back to the match. It was the final against Texas Wesleyan. And I was playing against Feng Zhe, who was 2012 World Championship silver medalist. And NYU was 2-1 down, and I had to win to keep the match alive. Okay. And I think by far that was the most amazing experience of my life. It was crowd against us, big name against you, first ever opportunity for NYU to win a college championship. Yeah. And I sort of had that responsibility to save the match and go into the fifth match, which was honestly in our favor. So I knew that if I won, we had a good 60-65% chance of winning the title. And just being able to manage that pressure against somebody so experienced was something that just changed my life. And very honestly, it did, because there were scouts watching. There were other team recruiters, you can say, in some ways, from Europe, who were watching. And that's when I got my first opportunity to go into Europe to play professional table tennis about 2 months after that. So
wow,
that was by far the biggest college sports moment for me.
Nice. And can you maybe generalize, what do you think is a lesson that you've learned from sports that you can apply to like any field?
I think the most important thing is controlling your expectations when you succeed and taking your losses well. And I think you're going to lose a lot. You're going to lose a lot more than you win. Yeah. But learning from that, continuing to persevere, continuing to just stay at it, honestly, is something that is, I think, by far the biggest lesson that I've learned. Especially in sport, I feel you lose a lot, whether it's losing a single point, whether it's losing a game, a match. You do end up going to most tournaments and not winning, right? But you have to find happiness in some of the smaller victories, whether it's reaching the semifinals, whether it's winning even just a round in a really big event. And also, that's obviously extrinsic but intrinsic in terms of whether you're able to perform based on what you're training, whether you're able to improve based on your last games, whether you're better than you were 1 year ago in various aspects, whether it's physically, technically, mentally. So I think it's very important to be able to analyze and then continue to just work extremely hard and smart. And that's something I think that would help you in sort of any walk of life.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the insight. To compete in tournaments, you've probably traveled all across the world. So can you tell us about one memorable experience, like a place you've been to, and maybe one takeaway from that trip?
I think this is going to be fairly unique and not a lot of people know, but I've competed in North Korea.
Wow.
So I went in 2019, luckily through obviously SAI, which is Sports Authority of India, and Government of India. We got complete access to the country, and everything was safe. But I was there for 7 days, no Wi-Fi, no any other sort of means of communication other than in our hotel we had 3 minutes of talk time every day. So I would obviously call back home, and I think it was sort of an eye-opening experience for me. I'd heard a lot of things about it. I did a lot of research before going, but I think you often don't know the truth till you actually experience it. I felt extremely safe over there. We had obviously 2 guides with us. I'm sure their job was a little bit more than just guiding us, but we had 2 guides who took us around. I felt extremely safe. I honestly really liked parts of the country that I saw. Yeah. We went to the subway station. The stadium was fabulous. Honestly, Kim Jong-un had also come to watch the event. He didn't meet us, but he met the North Korean team. There was a golf course. There was industry. There was a shop, which was known as the Foreigner's Shop, where I saw some things that I'd never seen before. Like, that was a life-changing experience for me.
Yeah, I think that's really unique. One of the truly unique benefits of sport, that you get to travel and interact and meet with new people.
Yeah, sports diplomacy is definitely something that's unbelievable.
Before we end today's episode, let's do a quick rapid-fire session. What's your best way to unwind?
Music.
What is more pressure, board exams or a final set?
Board exams.
Who do you text first after a win?
Family.
What gets you the most excited?
New challenges.
What's your favorite sport other than table tennis?
Football or golf.
What do you miss most about DAIS?
Just being there with my friends.
One thing about table tennis people don't know.
It's extremely, extremely physical. Just to give you an example, I'm probably burning close to 5,000 calories a day.
And finally, one thing for the viewers, what is one motto you live by?
Genuinely, and I mean it, dare to dream, learn to excel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's game, set and match for today's episode of DAIScover, Alumni Secrets to Success. Thank you for sharing your journey from DAIS to global arenas and inspiring us with your message combining balance and resilience. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed this conversation, because I know I truly learned a lot. Until next time, keep chasing excellence, keep chasing your dreams, and as Mudit would say, always play the next point like it's your best. And one quick last thing for the viewers who have stayed with me till now, I would like to challenge you to a quick game of table tennis to see how badly I would lose.
Let's do it.